Alright guys, so a lot of people have been bugging me on how to set up an AI waifu, and it's 2024. If you don't know how to do this yet, actually it's okay because I'll show you now, okay? So, first thing you're gonna do actually I'll set this up in 10 minutes, so stick around, alright? If you like the videos, like, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing you do, if you have zero programming experience, I want you to install VS Code, all right? So this is what everybody uses to run their code. Trust me, just use this one, okay? So go ahead and download it for Windows if you're on Windows, and Mac if you're on Mac, and if you're on Linux, you wouldn't be here, but if you're on Linux, download it here. Okay, and the second thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go to Python. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to the Python website or Google and search Python 3.10. And you're gonna pop up on this page, and then you're gonna go down here. If you're on Windows, again, click on the Windows installer 64-bit. And if you're on Mac, install it for Mac. Okay, so that's all you need to do for the setup. Once you're done that, let's go into VS Code. I have those two installed already, so yeah, it's fine. So this should be your VS Code window when it first opens up. Okay, this is kind of what it's kind of going to look, what it's kind of going to look like. So I'm going to open a new folder. Okay, actually, before you do that, why not? So basically, I want you to set up a project in a folder. Okay, I mean a project folder. So let's just call this, I don't know, like AI waifu. Okay, can't spell. But once you're here, you've got this product set up. I'm assuming you're going to be on Windows, but if you're not, then good luck. Should be relatively the same process. Okay, so you're going to go back to VS Code and you're going to go File, New, not New Window, File, New Folder, Open Folder. Okay, so you're gonna search for that folder you just created. Mine's in D drive, followed by YouTube projects, followed by AI waifu. So you're gonna select this folder and you're gonna open it. Okay, and before you started, I want you to set up your VS Code environment. Okay, so in order to do that, you're going to search extensions. All right, you're gonna search for two extensions, namely Python, which you'll use a lot. So click on here. And then I already have it installed, but you can install it. And then you're gonna probably search for Jupyter Notebooks. So Jupy Jupyter, okay? You're gonna install this too. This is just for convenience. I might use it, I might not, we'll see. So once you have those two instances installed, now it's time to get to work. If you're new to Python and you're new to all of this, don't worry. It's actually very simple, okay? But the first thing I want you to do is set up your virtual environment. Don't worry, don't be too concerned on what this actually is, but all I want you to do, know that I would recommend setting it up, and it doesn't take much. VS Code does it pretty automatically. So you're gonna press Control-Shift-P on your keyboard. So that's Control-Shift-P all together. And then you're gonna, if you don't see this first option, Python create environment, you can type Python create environment, and it should pop up, okay? So you're gonna create the environment, and you're gonna click on VENV. And if you installed it right, you should it should pop up Python 3.10. okay, so there is 3.12, but I like using 3.10. It's a more tried and true version, so click on 3.10. That's the one I told you to install anyways, and it should be, you know, cooking up some stuff in the bottom. Okay, so once the virtual environment is set up, it makes your workspace a lot more cleaner, and it'll save you a bunch of time in the future. Don't ask why. Okay, so don't worry, we're gonna set you up for an LLM in less than 10 minutes, I'm hoping. So let's speedrun this. So if you're very new to programming, you've never done this before, don't worry, I'll take you through a very basic example. So you're gonna right click on the folders here, and then you're gonna create new folder, okay? And then you're gonna say, this is folder 1, for example, right? And then place nothing in that folder. Okay, that's just for you to create a folder. Now you're gonna create a new file instead, and then you're gonna name this AI waifu, okay? .py. The .py is to make sure that this is a Python file, okay? And then, if this is your first time running code, you have to write print, followed by brackets, and then followed by quotes, double or single works, hello world. And then this should be your very first program. So go ahead and save it with Control S or file, I don't know, save, right? And then over here in the top right corner, there's run Python file. So you can run that Python file and you should see your output right here. Notice that there's a .venv. That's your virtual environment. It should be activated automatically if you did it right. If not, it's okay, your code should run either way. So hello world, perfect. That's your very first script. Okay, so this is gonna get a lot harder from now on, but don't worry, stick with me. So there are 3 parts to this project. One, it needs to accept voice input, okay? So that's the first thing. And turn it into text. And then the second thing it's going to do is accept the text and plug into ChatGPT is essentially what it's going to do. And the third thing, it's going to, turn that speech into text. Okay, this is the basic 3 steps, easy peasy. Okay, let's go with the first one. So the first one. Oh, by the way, if you want to know how I comment your code, commenting your code is a good habit. Press the hashtag symbol and then type what you want after it. This code will not be executed when you press play. So when you press play, well, nothing happens because it's all comments, okay? So that's the first step. Now, how do you solve problems as a programmer? Well, you Google them. You literally Google them. So if I were to open a new tab right here and type in how to convert speech to text Python, right? Boom. You get, Geeks for Geeks, always a good source, probably most of the time. And you have a lot of people, a lot of code that a lot of other people wrote to make your life easier. Now, if you can't understand anything what's going on here, that's okay. Let me explain to you the very basics after I change the scene. All right, so a very quick detour so you have the general understanding of this. Python is a very useful language because it allows you to use other people's code so you don't have to write everything from scratch. Imagine if you had to write a script that basically turns your voice into text. Like, that's a nightmare. I don't know how to do that, but thankfully some other geniuses before did that for me. So all I have to do is import their code or import their library and use them. Okay, so how do you do this, right? How do you use other people's code? This is going to be very useful in the future. First, you Google the problem, and second, you need to understand 2 principles, which is pip installs and imports. Okay, so for example, you're reading this documentation and you find pip install speech recognition. Okay, so what does pip mean? Pip is just a package manager for Python. Okay, so it allows you to install other people's code. That's basically what it is. And to run this, you have to run it in your terminal. So go back to VS Code, and you see this terminal window that popped up when you ran your code. If you don't have it, you can always go to terminal and then new terminal. This will activate your terminal. And basically, whenever you see a pip install, this is your sign to run it in the terminal. Otherwise, you can't use their code. So you have to first get their code from the library. So go ahead, copy paste that in, and then it'll install a bunch of things, okay? And these are what you need to run your code. Okay, perfect. If you know, this has been good when it returns your command line. Okay, so speech recognition has been installed, and to import it into your code. So your code doesn't know, to get that code from the library that you installed. So you have to type import and then followed by whatever that name is. So go back, check speech recognition, right? So technically, you can also go to speech recognition Python, and PYPI usually has their official documentation for it. So this is the pip command that we just saw to install the thing, right? And then you can go to their examples. They usually have examples. If not, then that's fine. But usually the people who made this code come up with code that you could just run straight out of the box. So this is the import, right? The import is very important. You have to import it. It should show up as green if you have the extension installed, okay? So import speech recognition as SR. So this basically tells you to import whatever package, and then as basically renames it. So you don't have to type out speech recognition every time you run their command. You only need to type SR. Okay, so you know that basics. Great, let's get to work. So just to check, if you want, you can run the code again, and it should be no problems for imports. Okay, so now the realistic part of programming is you're gonna just read a lot of documentation, okay? Especially if you wanna do more complex tasks that combine a lot of things. So what does it tell you to do next? Pi audio, you'll also need this package. So once again, pip install, let's go back and copy that in, right? So boom, successfully installed. Notice that if you say use the following command for Linux users, this will be if you're using Linux, which I highly doubt you are, because if you are, you wouldn't be searching for a beginner's Python tutorial anywhere on the internet. So yeah, this is for Linux users, do that. But if you're on Windows, pip install. If you're on Mac, pip install should be fine as well. pip 3 more specifically. So, and then you'll finally need the Pi text-to-speech. So this is your final module. Let's copy that in, and it should download a-okay. Okay, perfect. So now we have all three packages in. Let's see what you can read most of the stuff here, but I'll give you a quick kind of rundown. So they use these two packages. So I already imported speech recognition. Let's delete that, and I need Pi text-to-speech 3. Okay, so they have a function. Okay, now if you're new to programming and you don't know what the hell this means, I would like to say it's okay. But if you must know, a function is just a block of code that does something. So for example, if you have, here, let me just comment this out. And a useful shortcut is Control ? This comments out your code. So, you can just run other stuff. So let me give you a basic example how functions work. So this is, oh, by the way, one more quick detour. I know I'm rambling, but for programming, okay, I like the method where you basically have a in mind, and then as problems come up, you just solve them. I really don't believe in the tutorials where they tell you to basically learn this, and then, that'll be it. No. That's a very, I think, it didn't really work for me. That's all I'm gonna say. So I like this method better, where you just kind of brute force it and you learn what you only need to learn. Okay, so right now you just saw this is a function. Def something command, this is a function. Okay, if you don't know what a function is, that's okay. I'm gonna teach it to you right now. Okay, so functions are codes, blocks of code that do something. Okay, so let's go back here. And for example, if you have a function, so to write a function, you say def do something, and you have to follow it with quotes and a colon. Okay, now inside this, notice that it has to be indent. So press tab. If it doesn't automatically indent after you press enter, press tab. Okay, so tab, that's just how Python works. Okay, so within this do something thing, right, you're gonna print hello world. Okay, and then you're going to return, and then actually, you know what, just leave it here. So what do you think when I call the function do something? Okay, now to call a function, all I have to do is do something. Okay, this is my function. So I'm defining the function here. This is a function, do something, and it prints inside this function, notated by four spaces or one tab, it prints hello world. Okay, now to call the function, I have to exit out of the tab, and then just type in the function followed by the brackets. Note that there is no colon here because the colon is just used to define the function. Okay, so when I press play, what do you think would happen? It prints out hello world. Why? Because I called the function, I literally told it to do something, and then, well, how did I define do something? I printed hello world. Obviously, this is a very simple example, but this is in essence what they're trying to do here. Okay, so if I were to make a quick detour on functions, you can also enter something very useful. Okay, so let's just say, since the print statement is the only thing you know, let's just go with hello followed by, you can also print a comma, and then let's type in your name. Okay, so, and then let's type in your name here. Okay, now, what do you think happens when I now type in my name? Just right in here. Think about it. What do you think? So in this do something, I have your name followed by your name here. Okay, it's gonna print out hello world, and what is it gonna print out after? Well, let's test it out. Save it and then run it. Hello, just rain. Well, would you look at that, right? So functions allow you to have an input and then do something with that input. So, you know, why would you use a function? Is because you can obviously do the same thing here, right? You can just say, without the function, you can say your name equals just ran. Let's delete the function. And it does the same thing. All right? But a function is just, if you have anything that could be reused, it cleans up the space in your code, and then you can reuse it a bunch of times. Pretty useful stuff. Okay? So let's go back to creating text-to-speech. Here. Control ? Is the command. Although I'm, for some reason, I'm pressing the wrong button. Here you go. Okay. So it's defining speech, text, and then a command, and then it's basically initializing the engine. You don't have to know what this means. Even I don't know what it means. It's basically, this is their package of doing so. Okay? So let's, you know what? I'm tempted to just copy the entire thing. I know what you're thinking. It went from beginner to not beginner really, really quick, but that's just how it goes. Now, I've already tested that, and it doesn't work as well as I want, so I'm just going to use this one instead, right? So this is the second one from Google, from HackerNoon. I don't know who HackerNoon is, but let's just use their code, right? So notice how, you know, this one should work out of the box, right? And this is a very realistic way of programming. Okay, you're just gonna Google search one Google search at a time. I'm not even gonna explain this actually. Let's just run it. Hello? Ah, well, would you look at that? See, decoded text, hello. Very useful. See, I'm telling you right now, you don't have to understand what's going on here, okay? You really don't, okay? Because chances are a lot of this code is done by other people, and honestly, you just need to know that this whole thing just recognizes your voice and prints hello world, okay? I mean, what you say, not hello world. So let's try running that again, and let's try to say something a little bit different. Hello, this is for YouTube video. I don't know how well or how long this is going to record, but let's just see if it does something or if it transcribes what I'm saying pretty accurately. Okay, now I'm gonna wait. Hello, this is for YouTube video. I don't know how long this is gonna record, but let's just say if it doesn't, it transcribes what I'm doing pretty accurately. Wow, right? So that's all you need to do, okay? You need to know that this entire thing just decodes, just prints out what you said, okay? So the next thing, so that's first step done. Accept voice input and turn it into text. Now the reason why I said you should probably use learn how to do functions is because you can now turn all of this into a function, okay? How? Well, let's create a function. Define, now this is speech to text, and then followed by brackets, and then we press semicolon. And within all of this, we have to press tab to fit all of this code into the speech to text function. Okay? Now, you need to basically return this text instead of printing it, right? So because we need the next the text that we said to be plugged into ChatGPT, what's essentially going to happen is that now we have to basically return this, okay? So for a function to return something, you have to type return, and then followed by wherever it says, sorry, it shouldn't be here actually. You have to see, for example, decoded text, and then followed by this, and then format text. So text, what I'm probably guessing is just the text that you said. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna type in return text here. And then that's a very simple way to incorporate your code, what you need with other people's code. So now I'm gonna copy this function, speech to text, and I'm going to just run it, okay? And I'm going to assign this to a variable, okay? So let's say the output of speech. It doesn't matter what you name it. I'm just going to make it very clear, okay? And then this is just going to be equal to whatever this is. And now I'm just going to print output of speech, and it should do the same thing, even if I comment out or I delete this part, okay? So it's no longer going to print out decoded text, hello, this is for a YouTube video, etc., etc. It's going to print out from this variable. In fact, to confirm this, I can print out another. This is the output, and it should land right beside it. So it's going to print out this, and then it's going to print out whatever I say. Actually, you know what? This is what I said here. No confusions here. We save it, and then we run it. So let's see. This should be printing out something different right now, but if it's not, well, damn, that's tough. Yeah, see? So it's gonna, so basically what I did was I turned their text, their code into a function called speech to text. Okay, and now I'm running speech to text here, and I'm assigning the output, which is with return, right? So it's gonna run all of this stuff, and then it's gonna return text. Well, what is text? Text is just the stuff I said, and it's gonna go to what it's gonna assign the text from this into output of speech. And then I'm just printing it, okay? Now, the reason why this is useful is because of the next step, which is going to be accepting LLM inputs, okay? So, I'm gonna take a short water break here, but you'll see it in one video. I'm gonna snap a finger, and this is gonna be in the next step. All right, so we're back. So this is part 2, right? So accepting LLM inputs. This is just gonna be the core of the thing. Okay. Now, depending on your use cases, for example, if you were to make an uncensored version, or if you want to run this locally, chances are, don't use ChatGPT for it because everything goes to the web and then you have to connect to the internet, etc., etc. But for the rest of us, and for a very quick start, or just the stuff I used, we'll be using ChatGPT, okay? And it's basically actually very simple to set up, okay? So, first of all, you're going to go to OpenAI API. So this is, you're gonna type into Google OpenAI API, and then it should be, you know, probably one of these. Okay, you're gonna see this page. Okay, so if you see this page, you should sign up for an account. Okay, I already have an account. I'm gonna continue with Google, and I should be logged into one of these pages. Okay, so once you create an account with your Gmail and your phone number, etc., you should have OpenAI Developer Platform. This is the page. If you can't find this page, it should be under Docs. It should be the Docs page. Yeah. So click on the Docs here. So now you're gonna go to AI Developer Platform, and then you're gonna click on Developer Quick Start. Right? I'm telling you guys, there's not much for me to say here. A lot of this, if you really want to build your own AI stuff, you have to read through the documentation on your own or ask ChatGPT to do it. Either way, okay? So, you see the Developer Quick Start. If you're on Mac Windows, right? First of all, you have to create and export an API key. So the way you're gonna do that is you're going to go to their link, probably one of these. Here, this link, okay? See, I already have a key here, which is going to be secret, but this is basically going to be the thing that allows you to use ChatGPT, okay? And every month they give you $5 for free, which is basically all you're going to use unless you're using it for business or anything like that. And even for business, $5 is a lot. Like, one call to the API is like less than half or like a fifth of a cent. It is crazy, okay? So you're gonna create a secret key, and then it's gonna be owned by you, and then you can name it whatever you want, my test keys, and then you can do your default project, right? And then you can do all permissions and then create a secret key. So I already have one. I already have one here. Okay, so once you have your secret key, it's gonna tell you to copy paste it somewhere. Okay, it's gonna tell you to copy paste it here. Okay, so go back to VS Code once you have your secret key, and you're gonna create a new file, and you're gonna call it .env. Okay, this is your environment file. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna name it OpenAI API key, and then you're gonna make it equal to whatever blah 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 blah, right? Dash blah blah blah. This is gonna be your API key. Paste it here within the double quotes. Okay, you're gonna save this file. Alright, so once you have your env file set up, make sure to keep this a secret, by the way. Do not upload this to GitHub. There are bots who scrape OpenAI API keys from GitHub. Do not upload this, or at least if you're uploading it, make it private, right? Do not show this to anyone, because if you show this to anyone and you actually pay for OpenAI in the future, they can use your key and basically steal your money from your API account, which is not what you want at the end of the day, okay? So don't leak it. That's your warning. I have no liability in this, okay? So once you have that set up, it's all about, so let's just comment this out so it doesn't recognize the text I say every time I run it, but we'll uncomment it later. Again, it's control question mark, okay? Select it and control question mark. So next, you want to have that variable in this file. Now, the reason you could write it in this file, but I really recommend you don't do that. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna copy these lines of code, okay, from .env. And if you don't have .env, right, you know what to do, okay? So Google whoops, I should probably bring this over here, .env Python, okay? And there you go, you know the drill, copy it, and go back here, boom, pip install in your virtual environment, okay? Now, you have installed python.ven, great, okay? Now it should show up, boom, right? And you're gonna continue with the quick start. Where was the quick start? Here, right? So, OpenAI API key, and then this is in your environment variable, okay? Don't do it in PowerShell. I would recommend just making it here in your env file, okay, like you did. Oh, and you want to import OS as well. So this is a very standard package. You don't have to install this when it comes with Python, okay? So you load the environment. So basically what it's gonna do is it's gonna take your API key that you put in your environment file, and then it's gonna load it in this file, okay? Now, notice that you don't have OpenAI installed. That's because you don't. So you go back to the quick start, and then, okay, make your first API request. Look at that, right? PIP install OpenAI. Boom, follow documentation, guys. Okay, so you install OpenAI, it's gonna install a bunch of stuff, blah, 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 and you wait for it to get done. And in the meanwhile, you can read what they're all about, okay? So with the OpenAI SDK installed, create a file called example.py and copy this in it. Okay, so what you're gonna do is make sure that you have your key. Remember that you have your key in here, okay? And once OpenAI is installed, you can import it first and foremost, right? So let's import it. Or just import the entire thing. That works too. Okay, so you know what? I don't think, I don't know if we need this. Let's comment this out for now. See, it's very, I'm a very messy programmer. Okay, so let's just copy the rest. So once you import it, copy the rest, and you know what to do. So client OpenAI, and then this is basically the role. So it's just saying you're a helpful assistant, and then user, and then write a haiku about recursion in programming. Or you can change this to whatever you want. So let's just change this to, I don't know, write good, here, name, no, you are a anime waifu. This is basically what you would tell ChatGPT to behave as, right? Oh, sorry, no. Sorry, no. But I take that back. You should not plug it in here, okay? Don't plug it in there. Undo that. Okay, plug it in here, right? So role system, content, then followed by, I don't know. Well, what do you are an AI anime waifu. Please, talk to the user in that way. Okay, so you can enter whatever you want in here, and then role user is basically what you tell it. Okay, so in the meanwhile, we're gonna hard code it in, but we're gonna use variables later so that we can adjust the output of what you said into here. Okay, so let's just test it to make sure it works. So, hi, how are you? This is what you're gonna say. Okay. And then print completion choices message 1 is literally, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, so make sure everything is set up here, and let's try to run it. So this should be appearing in your terminal, and boom, it works. So it turns out you didn't really need, whatchamacallit, this line of code, OpenAI API key. I think this is for LangChain. But anyways, so again, the .environment path is basically to get your API key, which allows you to use ChatGPT in your code in your file. The reason why we kept it in an environment file is so that people don't steal it. It's good practice both ways, okay? So this just loads it, and this just tells it where this environment file is, okay? If you're ever confused about that. This is the speech text recognizer that we just did, and then this is the client, OpenAI. This is literally just copy pasted from their website, okay? So, boom, and it's that simple, right? So, role system, content, you are an AI anime waifu, please talk to the user in that way, and then, whoops, and then role user, so this is you, and then I'm just saying, hi, how are you? And then it's gonna print out the best choice of message, which is gonna be, oh, I don't wanna read it, but I will, content, right? Content, konnichiwa, I'm feeling sparky. Okay guys, I'm not cringing. This is just my natural reading deficiency, okay? Konnichiwa, I'm feeling sparkly and full of energy, just like a shining star. How about you? Is there anything special on your mind today? Star heart. And then refusal, and then one assistant function called none, tools called none. Okay. So, that's how you set it up, right? Now you're probably wondering, hey, how do I connect the two, right? And it's very simple. So you're gonna go, remember that our speech to text function that we made, and we have this. So output of speech to text, and then I'm just printing whatever this variable is. But remember that this is a variable, which means that we can plug this here. Now you're curious, right? So here's how we do it. Again, functions, all right, define. Let's call this anime waifu chat. You can name it whatever you want. Remember, defining a function, name whatever name you want, followed by brackets, followed by the input, okay? This is where the input is important, okay? So this is gonna be user speech, okay? Let's make it very clear that whatever you enter here is the user speech text. And then boom, okay? And then everything in here is going to be tab. So press highlight it and press tab. So everything in here goes inside this function. Excuse me. Okay. So notice that this is the result. So you can delete the print. So let's delete the print. And let's type in AI response equals this. And let's just return it. AI response, right? So once again, this is a function, and this is what it just printed over here. Okay, content, hello, konnichiwa, right? And actually, we can probably, okay, notice how it returned to us in chat completion message, content konnichiwa, right? We'll probably need to modify this later, but let's just connect these two things and worry about that later, okay? Return AI response. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the code after this function, okay? So first, we're going to recognize our text, and then this is what I said. So instead of printing it out now, we don't need to print it out. We can just call this function now. Whoops. Actually, before we do that, you need to modify the function. I totally forgot. So instead of user speech text, hi, how are you? Make sure to change this into our variable, which is going to be user speech text. So instead of us manually typing, hi, how are you? It gets it from the microphone. Okay, so once again, let's walk through it. Okay, so now I'll make it extra clear that this is the whole process. So first step, we're going to recognize our speech. Speech recon cog. Right? I don't know how to spell. Don't blame me. Okay, so output of speech. It's going to recognize our speech, and as we explored before, it's going to print it out, okay, into some text. And we're going to feed this text into our function, our next function, which is AI Waifu Chat. And this is going to be the input, user speech text. What is user speech text? It's going to be output of speech. Okay, so anime waifu chat, and then it's going to return, what is it going to return? It's going to return the response. Okay, AI waifu chat. Whoops, no, do not name that. Okay, let's name it res for response. Okay, any response is fine. Now, it's going to take this and going to plug it in here, and then ChatGPT is going to respond, and I'm going to assign that as res. So res, all I have to do now is just print out res, and it should run. So save it, go ahead and save it, and press play. Hi. Oh, hi, how are you doing today? It's good weather, isn't it? And boom, right? So, oh, hi there, I'm feeling excited to chat with you. The weather is perfect today, isn't it? Just like a scene from a sweet romance and full of possibilities. Do you have any fun plans to enjoy the day? Refusal none, right? So, again, right, we can tell that it actually responded to me correctly because, well, it responded to my prompt about the weather, right? And that's so simple. And if you're unsure, you can always print out any. If you're ever trying to debug anything in between, you can always just print output whatever. So, for example, if you had problems here and you don't know what you said got recognized correctly, you can always print output of speech. Okay, so print res, and finally, let's move on to the third step, which is text to speech. Okay, one last step. So before we do that, we need to modify this because I don't know why it ran twice, but oh, okay, I know why. So the reason why it's running twice is because it's running the functions and then it's running all of this stuff. To not do that, you have to type in, this is good practice anyways. So name equals main, underscore main, underscore, then do all of this. So this just tells the ChatGPT to basically run the Python file, and then if it's running directly, run this. It's good practice, actually. We can delete some print statements in between, but you know what? It should be fine. Okay. So, before we need to do that, notice how when you print the chat, the output, the AI response, it gives us a format of chat completion message, content, oh hi there, and then blah blah blah, and then it gives us refusal none, and then function call none, and tools call none, right? So we don't want all of that because we want it to read some stuff. So all we have to do is message after message we have content, and oops, not in caps, content, right? So this just accesses whatever this is and then accesses the content, okay? And then if we want to be extra sure, we can also make sure that this is a string. I know, so string is just text, okay? Any text in double quotation marks like this is just gonna be a string, or strings are this, okay? So, I know this is not really a beginner's tutorial anymore. If I'm moving too fast, I apologize, but we're like 20 minutes in or something. Okay, so, now, for TTS, text to speech. Okay? Again, if you don't know how to do something, what's the drill? Python text to speech, right? Boom. You see, okay, actually, you know what? This is a lightweight one that we just installed, right? But if we didn't install it, you can always double install it, right? So go back here, go back to the terminal and install it. Requirement already satisfied, so we did install it, right? So all we have to do, usage, look, it basically says what it is. So let's comment all of this out, right? So it doesn't run. Let's import this. So move this all the way up to the top. It's good practice and it looks clean. Oh, we already imported it. Okay, perfect. So import PyText-to-speech. It's going to initialize the engine and it's literally going to say, I will speech to this text and then engine run wait. So let's try it, right? So again, it shouldn't run any of this. It should only run this. Okay, so let's run it.
I will speak this text.
Okay, perfect, right? And I don't know if you picked that up, but if you did, that's great. Okay, now, AI waifus are not male. I'm sure there is a configuration to make this into female. So let's do, if you don't know how, Pi, text-to-speech, 3, female voice, right? Again, I'm teaching you the fundamental way to program. And honestly, this is just going to be what you're going to do for a lot of the time. Now, it's not here, which makes me wonder, where was it? Here. Voice, right? So again, pay attention to the documentation. If you don't know, you know what? I would recommend using ChatGPT later, once you kind of know how things work. So I'm pretty sure you have to set property voices, and then engine get property voices like this. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We're winging it here. Okay, let's try it here.
I will speak this text.
Aha! See? Okay. Now, you know what? This is a very simplified anime waifu, but it should work. Okay. Now, all we have to do is change "I will speak this text" into something else. And in order for us to do that, let's make a function once again. Okay. So in order for us not to get an error, let's just print running code. So this way, we won't get an error. Okay, so let's just keep that here. So let's make this a function. How do we make a function? Well, let's define speak text. And okay, I actually want you guys to make this one on your own if you know how. Okay, so what do we put here? That's right, text in, right? So whatever you want to say, put it here. And where do we change? And why is this giving us an error? Correct, because we need to press tab. Okay, everything in the tab belongs in the function. And then text, what do we need to say? All of this stuff. So where should this go? That's right, here, right? Get rid of the double quotes because this is a variable. Okay, now, do we need to return anything? Pop quiz. No, we don't, because it's just going to say the text and it's just the end of it. Okay, so how do we connect all of this? So let's just uncomment all of this stuff and then print response. So again, speak text. This is our function that we defined here. And what do we need as an input? The result from the anime, because the anime waifu is going to say something in text and we have to convert it to text-to-speech. So finally, let's make all of this happen, save it, and run it. So I don't know what question, I'm running out of topics in my head right now. Hey, I'm doing a YouTube video. Can you say hi to the audience for me, please?
Of course, darling. Sparkles. Steps forward with a bright smile. Konnichiwa, lovely viewers. It's so wonderful to see you all here. I hope you're having a magical day filled with joy and adventure. Let's dive into this amazing video together. Naya. Sparkling heart. How's that? Are you ready to make some enchanting content? Cherry Blossom.
Okay, so first thing you can, okay, obviously you can change the prompt. How do you change the prompt, all right? So it's a little bit too cringe for me right now, but right now you can change this to whatever you want, right? Remember, you can change this to whatever you want. And you can say don't add emojis, you can say be less cringe, you can make it a tsundere, whatever you want, okay? But that's not the point of this video. Now, to incorporate memory and other things, it will have to be for a different video. But hopefully, as an absolute beginner with no Python experience, you can kind of understand. I hit the mic with my mouth. You can kind of understand what's going on and how to create your anime waifu. Okay? So here, in this 30-something minutes, you have learned to set up Python. You have learned to import download and import modules and import libraries, and you've learned to set up your OpenAI key, and then you learn how to convert speech to text, followed by plugging that in to a GPT model essentially, and then read it out loud, right? It's that simple. It's that simple. Okay. So again, closing remarks. Message me if you have any trouble with anything. But yeah, if you found that helpful, be sure to like, subscribe. Let me know if you like this sort of content better than the entertaining ones. I know the entertaining ones probably gets your attention, but this is probably more easier for me to do, and honestly, it's a lot better just giving back to the community. Okay, so a few PSA announcements. I have a Discord set up. It's in my bio. If you want to join the community and ask some questions, yeah, come drop by. But aside from that, if you don't have any questions, or if you just enjoyed the video, just like, comment. I do read the comments, although I don't respond. But again, join the Discord if you want to chat with me personally. I'd be happy to help you there. Okay? So that's about it. Bye. Peace.